right, coming up, a whole lot more to cover this morning. We will be taking a closer look at our business headlines with Seth Denson and Dan Geltrude. And then in the next hour, we have Missouri Congressman that we're going to bring back in our Money Men, business and markets analyst and NewsMax contributor Seth Denson, as well as accounting professor at Montclair State University. So good to have you guys back. You were here Monday. Let's do it again today. Let's just jump right into those markets. So they closed the day mixed. But right here, I want you to look NASDAQ. Big thing to notice here, had their best day of the month, and they've certainly been surging as of late, and futures are up ahead of the opening bell. All right, let's talk about this new report by Bloomberg announcing the stream of Wall Street banks and big tech firms that have left New York and California over the last several years have cost the states nearly $1 trillion each and drained the states of thousands of high-paying jobs. Wow. Seth, tell us more.
Well, I mean, listen, these big banks and financial institutions are learning what most other Americans have learned, too, that it's expensive to be in these cities. And that if by moving to places like Texas and Florida, which, by the way, is where most of these are going, they can increase the quality of life for their people and reduce their overall costs because these are no state tax states. And so what we're seeing is a lot of them out of New York going to Florida, a lot of them out of California coming to Texas. And we will likely continue to see this trend unless those states change their policies.
Not good. Dan, it's about a good time. We have some good news for the airline industry. So American Airline pilots reaching a new contract that will include pay boost and better benefits. Tell us more about this new deal.
Well, let's put it this way, Alex. When you get on a plane, the one person you don't want to be in a bad mood or unhappy is the pilot. So this is good news. So American Airlines, 4-year deal, which will include a 46% increase in pay. This follows Delta that just had put a 34% increase in pay over a 4-year period. And Southwest right now is still negotiating. So we're seeing a trend here of trying to make our pilots happy. Yes. The not so great news is we know that those increasing costs are going to get passed through to us passengers.
Exactly. The money's got to come from somewhere. UPS and FedEx both seeing their stock drop yesterday. That's in response to the announcement from Amazon that they are now reviving their Amazon shipping service that was paused during COVID-19. Seth, tell us more about this the service from Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon obviously is a huge shipper. And while they do still use FedEx and UPS, the reality is about UPS, about 11% comes from Amazon. Amazon has built its own shipping network, but had not been using it as a competitor to FedEx and UPS. It is now. The caveat, you got to sell your stuff on Amazon's website. So if you're a business and you can utilize their service, but more competition in the space, maybe it'll offset those higher flight prices Dan was just talking about, because maybe there's competition in shipping and it can get less expensive.
Competition. It's a good thing. Big news yesterday. Subway, the company reportedly is nearing a sale worth nearly $10 billion. Dan, what's going on with this deal?
Alex, what a great American business story this is. This restaurant chain started in 1965 with a $1,000 loan, and now you're looking at a $10 billion sales price, and they made plenty of money in between. 8th largest U.S. Restaurant chain. Wow. So there was an auction for this, and it was won by Roar Capital. So good for them and good for everyone else.
Yeah, starting with 1,000, growing into the billions. Yeah, what a story. Another fast food chain, Domino's, the latest company to pull out of Russia, obviously in response to the ongoing war in Ukraine. The pizza powerhouse announcing they're closing down all 142 stores in Russia. This comes after over a year after McDonald's and Starbucks left the country. Seth, are we going to see more of these chains pulling out of Russia?
We just might, especially those that are Western-based, because in large part, the Russian government has made it very unfriendly for these companies. DP Eurasia, who is the franchisor of these stores, has said that, hey, doing business in Russia has almost become impossible. The government's making it very difficult. They can't sell off their stores. They are going to file bankruptcy for these stores to see if they can't reallocate them. And they may still be there, just get local ownership. But nonetheless, yeah, I think we see more and more Western companies say, hey, Russia, not a great place to be right now.
Definitely. All right, all good things must come to an end. Barbie dethroned as the #1 movie in the box office. This comes exactly 1 month after the blockbuster film hit theaters. So Blue Beetle taking the top spot, bringing in $25.4 million this weekend. Dan, are you surprised to see Barbie kicked out of that top spot?
Well, I did not see the Barbie movie. I did see Oppenheimer, great movie. That's fallen to #3 right now. You have Blue Beetle at #1, Barbie at #2. But it's historical because you had Barbie that was written and directed by Greta Gerwig, right? Girl power this summer. And now Blue Beetle, a DC comic movie, right? Latino superhero. I saw the coming attractions. Looks very good. I may make it to that one.
Never heard of Blue Beetle. DC, I've only heard of Batman. Sorry. I don't know what that is. So finally, if you're looking to make a little extra cash, your four-legged friend could be quite the moneymaker. Honest Paws is now offering $100 an hour for any canine ambassador who wants to promote peanut butter line. Seth, you kind of seem like a dog guy to me. Will you be in on this?
I am. Unfortunately, both Cody and Dylan, we lost a couple years ago, but nonetheless, no. Although it sounds like a great deal. I mean, what dog doesn't love peanut butter, right? I mean, I would think that any dog could get excited about it. A lot of cute dogs out there, so we'll see how this pans out. It'll be interesting to see, though. I mean, obviously, there's going to be no sour taste on peanut butter, but you know,
I don't know how this is going to work. Yeah, they're all going to like all of them, so it's very interesting. But $100 an hour. Seth Denson, Dan Geltrude, thank you both for joining us this morning. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, up next, President